Elden Ring is a game that is filled with so many incredible weapons, shields, spells, armors, items, and so much more that I often don't know what to do with them. I sometimes come across a weapon like Bloodhound's Fang super early on that is just so wildly overpowered. I also come across items where they seem completely useless. And then every so often you come across a weapon or a shield or something else that is just weird. It's weird, it doesn't make sense, and I don't know how anyone had the creativity to come up with it. I'm Bonfire, and here are 6 of the weirdest weapons and shields that you can find in Elden Ring. For those of you that have played the Old Hunter DLC in Bloodborne, I'm sure you are very familiar with the Whirly Gig Saw. It's one of the best strength weapons in the game, if not the best. Well, they have brought a version of that into Elden Ring. While it might not be as overpowered, it is still just as weird and just as cool. It is called the Giza's Wheel. It requires 28 strength and 18 dexterity to wield, and it has a really cool, unique skill called Spinning Wheel. Basically, you just grab it, you charge up the spinning blade of death, and you can apply blood loss extremely fast to all of the enemies in front of you. Now, this is a very good boss killing skill, but this weapon also just dishes out a ton of damage. If you have any sort of inclination in playing like you did in Bloodborne, I would highly recommend going and getting this weapon. If you're ever trying to get out of work for the day, saying you got bit by a snake is usually a good go-to. Now, if you don't live in an area with snakes, sorry, that's not going to work. But you can try it if you want. The Coil Shield is a really weird shield. It's made out of a snake. It's a strength and dexterity scaling shield, and it has 72 poison buildup. Its unique skill called Viper Bite basically shoots the snake out in front of you, biting the enemies in front of you, and again, causing poison buildup. It's a really good shield to use if you're trying to do any sort of poison build. It's great for stacking poison on bosses that are not immune to it, and it's just goofy and weird and makes a great addition to any kind of troll PvP build you might be trying to put together. I don't know about you, but I have never personally crafted a weapon in the forms of the heads of my dead wife and 2 kids, but if you have, you would have something in common with Necromancer Garrus when he crafted the family heads. This is a flail that is a strength, dexterity, and intelligence scaling weapon with a really weird look. It also has a unique skill called Familial Rancor. This is an ability where you can run near people, you raise it up in the air, the heads kind of splay out in 3 different directions and start shooting out dark magics. It's real creepy. I don't like it. I don't like using this weapon, but it's real weird. If you've ever wanted to cosplay as the sexy sax guy from George Michael's Careless Whisper, or the epic sax guy from the world-renowned Eurovision performance, Envoy's Horn is the weapon for you. It's a faith, dexterity, and strength scaling hammer, and it shoots bubbles at your enemies. That's right. The special ability, the special skill that this weapon gives you is the ability to blow bubbles at your enemies. SpongeBob would be so proud. The Visage Shield is an absolute beast of an item in Elden Ring, and I mean that in more ways than one. It requires 24 pounds to carry, it requires 44 strength to wield properly, and it also has a hideous, grotesque figure of a giant head with lots of flames, spouts, and teeth just shooting out in different gross directions. But if you want to use this super weird weapon, you will be rewarded with a super cool and unique ability called Tongues of Fire. This is where you basically hold the shield in front of you and spew flames on all of your enemies. It's great for crowd control. It's great for AoE killing. It's also really good for just smacking people. If you run out of FP, just start smacking. This thing brings the pain. I don't think it should be any surprise to y'all when I tell you that the Ringed Finger is the #1 weirdest weapon on my list. And it's for many different reasons. One is a giant finger that you just hit people with. Secondly, because of the skill that it has called Claw Flick. where the finger just inflates to ginormous proportions, and then you just flick everything in front of you. This is a weird weapon. I don't understand why it's in the game. Obviously, there's lore reasons and stuff like that, but man, who thought of just putting a giant finger in the game? I mean, come on. I've been invaded by someone dual wielding these before, and I think I've died every time more just because I'm freaked out and weirded out by them more so than anything. This is a weird weapon. It's number 1 on the list. If you want to use it, you can get it real early on in the game. I'll make another video showing you where that is, or you can just go look it up, Google it, find it. It's a weird weapon. And that is about going to do it for this video. And normally I go about saying if you found this helpful, be sure to subscribe, but I don't know if this video was helpful in any way, more just weird. Hopefully this was entertaining. So if you found this entertaining, go ahead and subscribe to my channel because I'm always uploading new tips, tricks, rants, videos like this where I list off the weirdest weapons in the game. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace.